All right, friends. My first guest this week has repeatedly and unapologetically quashed yours truly, Uncle Juddy, on the golf course multiple times over the past couple of years. Along the way, along the dusty trail, as the paterfamilias of Desert Willow Golf Resort, he's captained that ship to record-setting round counts in 2022. Maybe we can find out what those round count look like in 2023. If they're not record setting, I know that they can't be too far behind. We re-welcome our friend Derek White, general manager at Desert Willow Golf Resort, to the Spicer Speaking podcast. Hello, Derek.
Howdy, thanks for having me again. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, always great to visit with you. And I know that we got a lot to talk about, the goings on at Desert Willow. Let me start with this, though, man. We are now shouldering. We're in the shoulder season. We are entering May. The festivals have concluded. A lot of the crazy event calendar, basically, at this point here in our desert, that is now done, at least for a few months. We all take a breather. A lot of the snowbirds, a lot of the Canadians, Minnesotans, Washington State folks, they've all gone back to their other homes. And so now we kind of have this month of May where it's still nice out, can be a little breezy sometimes, but we are not in the triple digit temps. It's a shoulder season. I like the month of May in Palm Desert, California. What for you is your favorite part of the desert season?
I think while I love May, I think I like October, November a little bit better. But again, like you said, kind of the shoulders when maybe it's not quite as busy, but yet the temperatures are a little bit more bearable outside, and then you can get outside and do some hiking, be in the outdoors without just, needing 4 gallons of water.
It is a sneaky good time to be a desert local, and I'm right behind you with the October. Of course, we start getting into overseed season, so not as many courses are open, but also a sneaky good time right before a lot of the snowbirds return, and right before a lot of the events get going again in October. But for me, May, we can get lucky out here sometimes. Might have that just kind of 88 degree, 92 degree, go even into June. Fingers crossed, certainly, when I said that. For Desert Willow Golf Resort, what do you generally see historically happening in the month of May?
Well, historically, before COVID, we actually saw things slow down, but right now we are booming. In fact, I would dare you to try to find a tee time over the next week and a half, certainly through the middle of the month. It's pretty jammed here at Desert Willow. Lots more group business has started coming back to the shoulder seasons, and this is a popular time for golf groups to come to the desert. As you know, the hotel prices kind of come down a little bit. And so, those men's groups or we actually have a large ladies group coming this weekend as well. They all kind of flock to the desert during those shoulder seasons when they can afford to travel a little bit better. So I'd like to say it's shoulder, but it feels more like, the neck, or, it's not quite come all the way down to the shoulder yet. It's still pretty busy.
We know you guys are active over there, but we don't want to dissuade listeners from making tee times or going to
That's
visit
true.
Desert Willow Golf Resort. So there's got to be a few tee times
There are
available.
certainly some available. Yes, absolutely. And with extended daylight hours, you can play late into the evening.
Absolutely. Yeah. You got to light until 7:30 now. Go get out at 3 o'clock. Why not? You get your round in.
That's what I do with my boys, right? We go out at 4 and we can play as many as we like, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I do at the course that I sneak out at. I'm not going to name the course right now because I don't want to get caught. But yeah, I jump out for a 5:30 or 6 o'clock. I get my 9 or 10 holes in.
Yeah.
Reference a couple things, Derek. The record-setting round count of 2022, or at least the fiscal year represented for Desert Willow Golf Resort for 2023, or at least those block of months that you count for those round numbers. You think that the record that you set in the, I guess now 26-year history of Desert Willow, is it going to be matched or neared?
I think it's safe. We are kind of seeing a plateauing of rounds, and maybe even a little bit of a decline. Some of that here in the desert's just been from the colder than normal temperatures that we saw in January, February, and March, honestly, and the wetter season that we saw then maybe in 2022. So Certainly weather impacted. I wouldn't say that there's less interest in golf, but there were some impacts that were out of our control that were, kind of make that number, again, let the record stand.
Currently working on a new article for the Northern California Golf Association. Grabbed a couple quotes from our mutual pal and your colleague at Desert Willow, Brian Simpson, for that. And I basically opened up this article, Derek, by noting that the post-pandemic era continues to see a rush of golf for courses not just limited to here in the desert, but basically the numbers around the country, weather permitting, do reflect that the numbers, while they really did peak in 21 into 22, they have still stayed strong, certainly far higher than what we saw in 2019. Here in the desert, man, as you said, you guys have been very active. The other high-end top public courses around the desert, I mean, in the peak months, for yours truly or for folks that live out here, yeah, it can be tougher to get tee times, which I see as I'm happy. I'm happy for the golf courses that people are appreciating them, that you guys are making some bread, that everyone's staying busy. Does it surprise you that the level of play has maintained this high now, pretty far removed from the peak pandemic months or years, I should say?
Well, I guess the business person in me wants to be a little bit of surprised, but the golfer in me, I love this game, and I just kind of feel like those that finally figure it out and get out there and enjoy nature, enjoy being out there with and conversing with people, getting off your cell phone a little bit and just enjoying time with people in a game. I think it's phenomenal, and I think people get addicted really fast. It only takes that one good shot, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, hey, why can't I do that every time? And the next thing you know, you're hooked, and you're trying to find a place that's your home course. And I mean, look at private clubs; they're full with waiting lists, and
Yeah.
that really hasn't changed. So for somebody who loves golf like me, man, it's just exciting to see people love the game. Even off the course businesses, I mean, you're seeing more and more startup. You're seeing these pop stroke, places that are more like high end putt with food and beverage, kind of top golf, but yet putting. And you're seeing those places pop up in Phoenix, now in the California markets. So, I mean, there's a number of off-course golf-related businesses that are booming in addition to on-course.
I gotta say, my own answer to my own question is that I am surprised because golf, as rewarding and wonderful as it can be when you find that sweet spot, or for those like the two of us that have an appreciation for the outdoors and like the beautiful manicuring at Desert Willow Golf Resort, yeah, that keeps us coming back. But on the other side of it, golf can also be hard and time consuming and frustrating for some. I guess I kind of thought that after the pandemic faded, that people that dusted off their golf clubs that have been sitting in the garage for 6 years, people that took up the game as beginners, that they would get frustrated and stop playing again. But the numbers don't bear that out. That has not been the case. A lot of the people that came to golf or came back to golf during the pandemic have stuck with it.
Yeah, and we know that it's our job as golf course operators and golf professionals to keep them engaged. Whether it's keeping them interested in clinics or getting them involved in groups or tournaments, and the more that you can get them involved in, right, the more that they're going to want to stay in the game. But it's certainly a disposable income sort of activity, and a lot like skiing or other places, it's not always cheap either, and so finding one that fits your budget sometimes is a little bit of a trick, but there certainly are golf courses of all shapes and sizes. So
Oh
there
yeah.
are something for everyone.
Yeah, that's what I always tell folks that come out here. There's no shortage of opportunities or styles of play, whether it's par 3 golf, whether it's Desert Willow Golf Resort, whether it's taking lessons, whether it's going to the driving ranges, no shortage of different ways or different styles to get a club in your hand here in the
Mhm.
desert proper. Friends, you're tuning into episode 81 of the Spicer Speaking podcast. My guest is Derek White. He's the general manager at Desert Willow Golf Resort. You can check it out for your tee times online at desertwillow.com, Mountain View and Firecliff courses, respectively. The awesome 36 holes at DW. While you're on there, let me remind you, as always, check out the awesome and on site Palm Desert Golf Academy. let's segue to the Palm Desert Golf Academy. Along with the round counts that have remained high, Paul Busey and the Palm Desert Golf Academy, man, I check out these golf schools and all the golf clinics, the daily golf clinics, the short game schools. I mean, you guys have really upped the menu, I would say, in recent years of all the different opportunities. And I noticed that like those signature golf schools, especially the 2-day schools, Derek, that those are going well into June now.
Yeah, I mean, they're phenomenal programs. I couldn't speak more highly of Paul and the team. They've put together a product that, everyone would enjoy. They're going to have takeaways from that, whether it be some video of themselves, some tips and things. They have some software that allows them to take that lesson to the next level, to be able to communicate with those their clientele off course. So if they want to upload a video, now the pro can speak with them about that. There's just so many great things that's out there. And then, we also integrate into those golf schools a lot of times lunch at Desert Willow, which certainly I would say it's a great place to have out there on the patio, have lunch. And so, it's just a great product that they're offering currently.
Yeah,
Team does a
and
phenomenal job.
along with those 2-day signature schools, the daily golf clinics, those are something, I mean, it doesn't just cease because the season starts to turn. That is something else that you guys continue to offer well into the summer months.
Absolutely. And those are fun, right? If you just want to work on a segment of your game, but you want to be around other people and kind of have some camaraderie, and then there can be some competition amongst others, whether it's short game or full swing. Those clinics are a fun way to do that. We also have, of course, like PJ Junior League, right? The juniors are starting a number of their programs. And so while it's shoulder season, then that affords courses the ability to allow juniors to have a little bit more access. And of course, PJ Junior League's got to be one of the greatest programs they've created for juniors, creating team golf environment for those kids, giving them jerseys and letting them just have a great old time. And so Desert Willow is happy to have our team back again. I think we were champions last year. We'll see how that goes this year. It's always tough to repeat, right? People are always coming for you, but we'll certainly do our best to kind of stay on top of the hill, so to speak.
You mentioned the dining at Desert Willow, the Terrace restaurant overlooking holes number 9 and 18, respectively, on the Firecliff course. I've gone to Desert Willow over my lifetime in the past dozen plus years, Derek, probably as many times just to eat or take guests to go sit outside there as I have to go play golf. And that's no joke. I mean, my mom, she'd be dangerous with the golf club in her. She wouldn't know what to do with the golf club in her hand, but she's been to Desert Willow probably 50 times just to go take friends to drink and dine or have lunch out there. I also know that a popular part of the facility, I did an article about this, was maybe 6, 9 months ago about weddings and
Yeah.
golf course and weddings. That also remains very popular, if not a growing business for you guys, correct?
Yeah, we've we've seen record levels of weddings. October, November, those are probably the busiest wedding months of the year. But those weddings have started back up again. We actually saw them all the way through season this year, which is a bit abnormal, but it's great to see that happen. And then usually during the concert weekends, which we all know just came and went here in the desert through the month of April, then we actually end up shift over to hosting a lot of local high school proms. But now that we're out of those concert weekends, we're going to be back to weddings most of the weekends, all the way through probably the middle of June. So lots of weddings, a great venue, lots of options. You can have your ceremony out on the grass, out on our event lawn, or you can have it out on a terrace. There's lots of options for you here at Desert Willow, depending on what you want.
Yeah, and a romantic place to be sure. Let's take it back to the golf course. Couple of events that I want to touch upon before I let you go. This upcoming weekend, that being the first weekend in May, a little disappointed I didn't get the invite from this one from Grant Fuhr. Had a lot of pleasure of spending time with Grant as he's been calling the Coachella Valley Firebirds games this year. Did an article on Grant, but I know that his tournament, the Grant Fuhr Celebrity Invitational, comes to Desert Willow this weekend. And I know when they put out the list, man, of like who's going to appear and celebrities. I mean, sometimes that happens. Sometimes those people kind of pull out because of other commitments or whatever. But the list that he's got, there's some pretty awesome ones that are going to be at Desert Willow. I mean, the ones I should say that really jump out to me. Bo Jackson is in this celebrity field, and Marcus Allen. That was my football hero growing up, number 32 for the Raiders. Gonna get out there with Bo Jackson, man?
So I've gotten to meet Bo before. He had done his own tournament out here once before. It was great, and you mentioned both of them, and of course they played in the same backfield, right? We all kind of remember that back in the day, and it was. I know Bo would come in kind of midway because of baseball and different things, but anyway, they were both dynamic and both amazing, and yeah, some of those types of names when you get to kind of rub elbows and rub, that's fantastic. And we get that a lot here at Desert Willow, which is wonderful. But yeah, he's got quite a list. I would have thought you would have fit in there very well. I'm not quite sure. Maybe the invite just still hasn't arrived yet. I'm not quite sure.
No, me and Vince Coleman, we could do some damage together. I noticed he was on the list. Kim Alexis, I wouldn't mind playing with Kim. Still very, very lovely. Who else did I see? Oh, Richard Karn. Always love Richard Karn, Curb Your Enthusiasm, and many, many more movies and TV shows. But Bo Jackson, I mean, as much as I love Marcus Allen, I probably want to play with Bo Jackson, man. Have you seen him swing a glove?
Yeah, I've seen him swing a club. He's an amazing athlete. What are you going to say? Like, I
Yeah,
mean, he can do anything he wants, right? Bo knows.
he knows. I've seen, I think the most recent documentary where he was doing archery, and he seemed as prolific with that as he did with his pro sporting endeavors, but never seen him swing a golf club. I guess I just have to figure that, probably a little wear and tear, injuries aside, looks a little bigger now than he did in his prime. But
Yeah,
I can imagine that he can put club face on the ball.
yeah. I don't know if the hip causes any restriction or
Yeah.
not, but he's certainly an athlete, one of a kind. There's no doubt.
You see him out there this weekend, maybe saddle up to him, give him a few tips, see how that
Okay.
goes.
Yeah,
See
I'll
how
see.
that goes over.
Yeah.
Lastly, we've got a big one coming up at the end of May during Memorial Day weekend. The City of Palm Desert Championship, comprising two-player teams. It's Saturday and Sunday. I want to say it's the 27th and 28th of May. Looked at the Desert Willow website this morning. Appeared that there were still a few spots available to compete in that event. You guys have done that, I think, 3 years now, Derek.
Yeah, maybe even more.
What more? 4 years, maybe.
Yeah, something
Okay.
along that lines. But
Okay.
it's a fantastic event. Like you said, we like it because it's a city championship that's not an individual stroke play event. It's something you get to play with a partner in. It's multiple days, great value. You get a practice round. You get some meals put in there. We always like to headline it too with some great raffle prizes. And those aren't for the winners of the tournament or the ones who are the lowest score. Everybody gets a shot at those. And we think that that's a great way to keep people coming back as well. Offer great experiences here in the desert, whether it be red Jeep tours or BMW events we've done in the past. Lots of fun things to get people engaged inside the valley, more than just golf as well, right? We're all one big tourism economy here, and we want the whole valley to succeed. So we always look for those types of partnerships.
All right. Well, maybe I'll be looking for a partnership. The City of Palm Desert Championship. I don't know if there's maybe a couple open spots left come the end of the month, and a team media, maybe a media team can be put together and make a run at that title. We'll see. We'll see if there's any spots left.
All
Certainly
right.
don't want to take bread off anyone's plate or take up anyone else's spot, but I might knock on your door, say around the 25th. Say, hey
Okay.
man, I still see that splash page on the website. Looks like you got a couple spots open.
Well, I know you know how to get a hold of us, so we'll talk with you then, no doubt.
I'm also good at planting seeds to get back on your golf course. That was probably as subtle as I can get with that, but
And then you can practice for the next media melee, right? And then we'll
you'll squash me again.
another round out there.
Yeah, I think two drubbings in that event. Fear not. I'll be bugging you about that too late spring as we get into the summer months. Derek White, friends, general manager at Desert Willow Golf Resort. I'll be seeing you soon, my friend. Thanks for your time. Always a pleasure.
Likewise, and we will see you then. Take care.
All right. Thanks, buddy.